This was a free key provided to us by the Idea Xbox program. It no way influences our thoughts, opinions, or anything else on the game, and we will remain unbiased as such. So yeah, we're gonna get free key! Now I do enjoy turn-based strategy roguelike games, and some of the few things I really look forward to in roguelikes is replayability, a rewarding progression system for even when you're defeating, of course, which most roguelike games you end up defeated over and over again, fluidity, and a challenging but fair combat system. Something to kind of keep me constantly on my toes while not being too harsh in difficulty, and then obviously with other games like the icing on the cake comes with graphics and all other kind of stuff like that. And Plague Road manages to be extremely impressive in doing absolutely nothing. In fact, it's so bad that I'd rather go and see The Wizard of Oz, right? Because that's a yellow brick road, and I'd rather just do that instead. And the thing is, you know, this could be spoilers, but Dorothy, Tin Man, whatever, they do that whole journey, they get to the wizard, and basically he says, yeah, I'm not a wizard, I just, you know, yeah, I just had you on, you all come all this way, and I'm not a real wizard. And basically, I still would have been less disappointed in that than I was in Plague Road. My god. Now the biggest problem is, I just couldn't really understand the story at all. There's really nothing to it. You enter the zones, a narrator, who is the one, the only Jim fucking Sterling's son, which I'm a fan of, but let's be real, in this game, my god, he is a terrible voice actor. I couldn't stop imagining him doing a Jimquisition or something, instead of actually being the narrator for the game, which broke a lot of the actual whatever the hell he was trying to say, which I didn't really take in anyway because I was too busy laughing, but it didn't really go well with the story or bode well with anything at all. So basically I didn't understand the story. There was no real cutscene, at least to my knowledge, and yeah, there's just no story whatsoever. There is apparently some story there, you know, you're a crazy ass plague doctor or something. I don't know. I just don't know. I've been playing this game for 3 days, completed it all, did it all fully. It was tedious as shit, and I just don't know what the fuck went on in the story, okay? Right?
Hear now a tale of a city once blinded by walls built from fear of what lay outside it, where a sickness did fester and a doctor resigned to uncover the fate of those left behind.
I was actually enjoying this game. If I did a preview, I would have been pretty much boned, because I did enjoy the first 20 minutes, which is like perfect preview time. But after that, everything wears off. The novelty is just gone. Areas are pretty much identical. When it just, you know, the first and second are basically this kind of weird forest thing you see on the screen there, and then third is like this, the gates mixed with the forest. Fourth is catacombs. And then that's it. Yeah, that's it. That is it. That's literally it. And my god, even the monsters are so freaking identical. It's unbelievable. You go into a fight, same monsters. Go out of the fight, go back in the fight, same monsters. Because to go through the levels, you have to kind of progress through this randomly procedurally generated quadrants. You know, trying to think of an example, but I can't think of one. That's preparation right there for you. But yeah, you're going through these quadrants, mostly to dead ends, so you have to go around and try to find the actual ending to the level, which then takes you to the next level, and along the way, it's just enemies scattered all over the place. There's probably like 2 to 3 enemies per quadrant, and the combat is so simplistic and boring, it's unbelievable. So, to even get through the first area, I'd say it takes a good 2 to 3 hours if you try and fight everything. And you can try and run past them, but it doesn't really work out well. They just run into you and the combat engages instantly, just fights. And there's no freaking reward for even beating them neither. You don't even level up, you don't do nothing, you just fight them, you just gotta slug. In fact, most of the game I spent was trying to just slip past them to see if it's a dead end or not and then run back in. It's just, big shame. And the only reward on the actual game is just survivors randomly placed in the map, and that's it. Basically, you start off with just yourself, you go into this level, you go up until you die, hopefully you get a few survivors, bring them back, you reveal them, they can either be a mage, fucking Houdini or some shit, a witch, they can be whatever. The worst is basically, peasants. If they're a peasant, just don't even bother with them. Peasants are crap. But anyway, so you got witch, soldier. I love the soldiers. They could do flamethrower moves and stuff like that. Healers, or they're called nurses. And there's another one. Oh yeah, engineers. Which basically, they only move 2 squares and they are total shit. So basically I end up using 1 healer, 2 flamethrower guys, soldiers, and a wizard. And yeah, that was it. That was kind of what I wrote for. But anyway, I kind of strayed off topic there. But yeah, you save the survivors, you bring them back to your base, you reveal them. Then you've got these buildings which you can train them up. And you unlock the buildings by doing the quests, like small quests. Basically the quests, the NPCs out in the field, in the levels, basically say, oh, I need to build a building, but to do this, you need to have 1 engineer in your party or something like that. And basically, yeah, you do those quests, you get the city pretty damn big, and then you got a place then to train your troops, and basically you retire, I quote, retire the troops to improve your building facilities. And yeah, when you level them up, it allows you to put different kind of spells onto your troops, which you then find, or your survivors, which you then find, and it's just crap. It is so bad. So the survivors are completely random, you bring them back, you reveal them, most likely they're peasants, and then you'll just retire them straight away, or sacrifice to get them your XP. You go back in, and keep doing it again until you get pretty damn good troops, survivors. I don't know why I keep calling them troops for, and yeah, and then just hope for the best, and then carry on. But yeah, so I've pretty much 2 to 3 days of doing that solidly, of just going into levels, grinding survivors, bringing back, sacrificing the ones I didn't need, and keeping the ones which I needed, then going through, and basically grinding for more survivors, which is that's pretty much the core to the game. If you enjoy doing that, then yeah, I mean, I didn't. And I just figured that all these enemies are in these kind of quadrants just to basically stop you from completing the game in 10 minutes. Because seriously, if you could run past the enemies, you'd progress through the levels pretty damn quickly. And as soon as you get to the catacombs, which is the 4th level, this is a slight spoiler, even though it's really not, because again, you'll have difficulty trying to understand the story. But you get to the end and there's no big boss battle or anything. I was so pumped. I was like, right, we've been at this for 2 to 3 days. There's gotta be a good boss fight ending to this game. I get to the end zone. I teleport in. Boom, cutscene. Congratulations, you beat the game. What? That was just the most disappointing thing ever. Which is, again, I'd rather go to the Wizard of Oz and find out he's not a real wizard, because that would have made me less kind of upset. But I thought it was a joke. Because the way it was labelled as well, the achievement was labelled, was find the true ending. So I was like, okay, maybe you have to complete the game with like 4 healers or something random like that. But anyway, yeah, it turns out you get to the end. Jim Sterling does this kind of narration thing, which you don't really get to listen to because like the cutscene's like 2 seconds long. You beat the game, congratulations, have a happy... So basically, as far as I can tell from all this, you're a plague doctor randomly dumped into this place. You progress through levels, killing enemies and saving survivors for no apparent reason, and then you get to the sea, you go underground into the catacombs, you get to the end, and then, yeah, you just win. I don't know why you win, you probably win jack shit, but yeah, I mean, the game is just utterly and total bad. It's a slog, and really I don't know anybody who could enjoy this kind of stuff. And the only people I can really recommend this game to is people you want to prank. Like really. I really thought the Scale Electrics and Rally Races, or whatever the hell it was called, was bad. But this inherently looked like a game with potential, which I will admit, ever since seeing the video of Jim Sterling on it saying he's going to narrate the game, I was pretty excited for it. It even raised $50,000 from Kickstarter. And yeah, from what I seen on Jim Sterling's video was pretty much what I actually played, which is quite sad. Because he was shown an early alpha demo, and what I was playing felt like an early alpha demo. And it raised 50,000. So yeah, this game released a year ago on Steam as well to a slew of negative reviews. Lots of great feedback in the reviews, which, I mean, the developers didn't really take in or something, and they just released it as it was. Again. They didn't even update the Steam version, even though that's been out for a year, and it's lots of negative reviews. I don't know, it's just mind-boggling to me. The only thing I can think of is just a cash grab. That is literally the only thing I can think of, but yeah. Plague Rogue. I said that wrong, but Plague Road, I definitely do not recommend, and it's just frustrating, especially with an insanely high price. Now, if I didn't have this product for free and I actually paid for it, I would be absolutely furious, because I could have used that money on petrol and used that to get to the Wizard of Oz, but no, I spent it on this game, Plague Road, and I can't do that. But I didn't spend anything anyway, because again, it was a free key by ID Xbox. But my god, I just can't believe the sheer audacity of this game. It's just so bad.